Welcome back. All right, some news of the day for all you fine people on the internet, just in time for tonight's games to get rolling. Tanner Jeannot has been suspended. It is a 3-game suspension for him as a result of the head hit on Brock Besser. I have not seen an update yet on how long Besser is going to be out, but you have to think it's a concussion, and it may be a while. So Jeannot gets 3 games. He didn't have a track record, so makes sense. It'd be 3 games. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on whether you think that's fair or not. Auston Matthews has been placed on injured reserve since I wrote this on the board. I actually wrote this this morning. It's an upper body injury. He is not playing tonight. I'm going to go ahead and say, unless they retroactively put him on the IR back to last Saturday, he won't be playing tomorrow either. He hasn't been on the ice since Sunday, so they've been pretty tight-lipped about what's going on, other than it's an upper body injury. And so we'll see how long he's out. It's not LTIR, but it is IR, meaning he has to miss a minimum of a week. Shane Pinto is very likely to return for Ottawa tomorrow against the Boston Bruins. That's good news for the Ottawa Senators. Getting Pinto back into the lineup. Something has to change for Ottawa. They've just not been good enough this year. It's really that simple. And so, yeah, we'll see. And again, they've played well, but the last couple of games, I'm having a hard time with, because they're starting to get into some bad habits here and there, and it's starting to look like the Sens of previous Novembers. Connor Hellebuyck, back-to-back shutouts will do this for you. He was named the NHLPA Player of the Week. He had his 40th career shutout last night, said that was a pretty special experience. I would imagine it was. And of course, the Winnipeg Jets off to an amazing start to the season. It's not a coincidence that they're off to that amazing start. And Hellebuyck's putting up shutouts and looking fantastic. So Hellebuyck looks like he wants another Vezina trophy, and the Jets look like they're saying, you know what, we'll take the President's Trophy. We don't think there's a jinx involved. It's still very early, but when they're 13-1 like this, man, it could happen. So for the Nashville Predators, it's been a tough time. Now, I've already done a video on Nashville. I did one when they were winless to start the season. I believe started 0-4. I've thought about doing another video on Nashville, but it feels like there's other teams to do videos on first before we get to that. But the fact that they're sitting last overall, they are 1 point behind the Ducks, the Habs, and the Sharks. It was not supposed to be like this. So remember, if it continues like this, Barry Trotz is going to have some very difficult decisions to make. There are some highly paid contracts, and as was pointed out as well, a lot of those contracts have no movement, no trade clauses attached, so it is not going to be an easy thing for them to dig their way out of this. The NCAA has made it official. The NCAA is now allowing CHL players to appear in Division I universities. This does not affect Division III. Apparently Division III they're still not going to be allowed into, but Division I, CHL players going there, this could make the draft a whole other thing. So there's times where teams may not want to draft NCAA guys because they don't want to run the risk that they're not going to sign and then they'll be free agents. But now you could have a CHL player that opts to go to the NCAA. And NCAA is a good route to go. I always say, if you can get a good education, you can get yourself a bit of a degree, something, it's a good thing to do that, even if you're a pro athlete, because you never know when there could be an injury, something happens, maybe your career just doesn't work out as well, and you might need to have that career to fall back on. NCAA allowing CHL players in. The only thing I saw in that was they're not allowed to have made more money than what they need to survive. So basically the per diem stuff they're not worried about. If you're getting your expenses covered, but if you're actually a paid athlete where you're making thousands of dollars a month, that's a problem. And so the NCAA, at least that's the wording that I read, was that's where the NCAA would say no. But it should be great to see CHL players being allowed to go to NCAA. So the Montreal Canadiens have been in focus with a lot of people. There's a lot of talk about defensive issues for the Habs. And it's true. They're leaving Montembeault and Primo hung out to dry. So does this come back on the assistant coaches? Does this come back on Marty St. Louis? Or is this just part and parcel of having young defensemen? And to me, it's part and parcel of having young defensemen, and adding a veteran might help. But who do you pull out of the lineup? Which young defenseman do you pull out in favor of putting in a veteran player? That's where things get a little bit trickier. But there's definitely some defensive issues there. And so does that go on assistant coach? Does that go on Marty St. Louis? Because Montreal wanted to be better this year. Not necessarily playoff ready, but better. and so far it has actually been worse to start this season than it was last season. And at some point in time, you've got to think the other shoe's going to drop. Somebody somewhere is going to do something. And again, I'm not saying the coach or the assistant coach necessarily. Maybe it involves a trade by Kent Hughes. But let me know your thoughts. If you're a Habs fan, how do you fix that defense? What do you do to fix it? Or do you just say, you know what? We're still in a rebuild. Let them let in the goals, and we'll see if we can get another number 1 draft pick. Maybe Hagens would look good in a Montreal jersey. So at any rate, let me know your thoughts. And definitely if they had Hagens in the pipeline along with Demidov, that would be insane. But let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. And I want to say this too. On the Entertainment Guy channel today, I did my whole treadmill routine right during a live stream, one of those vertical live streams. And I'm open to doing that again. But it'll only be on the Entertainment Guy channel, so I'm just throwing that out there as a heads up. And yeah, I didn't pass out. I wasn't really short of breath, and I didn't even need to pause. You guys can go check out the live stream and see for yourselves. But thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.